So good afternoon dear friends. So how are you? So today we are going to start this new lesson, that is 4.3, The Red-Headed League, Part 1, Mr. Wilson's Story. When I called upon my friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes, he was conversing with a visitor, who was an elderly man with fiery red hair. So when I called up my friends with Mr. Sherlock Holmes, so he was talking with a visitor who was an elderly man because he was a old man with a fiery red hair. Holmes introduced me to the visitor. He introduced me to the visitor, Mr. Jabez Wilson. His name was Mr. Jabez Wilson. He was a pawnbroker. Holmes asked him to repeat his story for me. He began by showing us an advertisement in a newspaper. It read as follows: To the Red-Headed League. There is a vacancy for a member of the league, and the salary is £4 a week for nominal services. Red-headed men may apply in person on Monday at 11 o'clock to Duncan Ross at the office of League, 7 Fleet Street. The advertisement has appeared in newspaper 2 months ago. Mr. Wilson, assistant Vincent Spaulding, had shown it to him. Mr. Wilson liked his assistant Spaulding. He was smart, efficient, and worked for only half the nominal wages. So he was smart, he was efficient, and he worked for all the nominal wages, right? But the assistant also had its faults. The assistant also had its fault. Every now and then he left work and went down into the cellar to develop photographs. Photography was his hobby. So the worker who was working there, he has a problem. Every now and then, every after 5 minutes, every after 10 minutes, he used to go to the cellar, he used to go down and takes photograph because his hobby was photography, right? His hobby was photography. Spaulding showed the advertisement to Mr. Wilson and explained to him that an American millionaire, Mr. Ezekiah Hopkins, had founded the famous Red-Headed League to help all redheads like himself. Spaulding urged Mr. Wilson to apply for the job. So the two of them went to the address given in the advertisement. Fleet Street was full of red-headed people. Mr. Wilson thought that with so much competition, he would not get the job. He wanted to go back, but Spaulding pushed through the crowd and took Mr. Wilson to the office. There was nothing in the office but a couple of chairs and a table. A red-headed man sat behind the table. So there was nothing in the office, there was only a red-headed man who was sitting behind the table. He was Mr. Duncan Ross, a representative of the Red-Headed League. He was very pleased to see Mr. Wilson and announced immediately that he was well suited for the job. He shook hands with Mr. Wilson, congratulated him, and told all other candidates to go back. Mr. Duncan Ross explained that Mr. Wilson would have to be in the office for 10 to 2. If he left the office, he would lose the job. If he left the office, he would lose the job. He was told that he has to remain in the office till from 10 to 2, means from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. If he leave the office, he would be fired from the job. Spaulding assured Mr. Wilson that he would look after Mr. Wilson's business in the absence. Spaulding assured him that he would look after his business after Mr. Wilson in his absence. The pay was fixed at £4 a week. And the work, said Mr. Wilson, you have to copy out the Encyclopedia Britannica. You have to copy out the Encyclopedia Britannica. The pay was very good and the work was light. Mr. Wilson accepted the job and began his work the very next day. Mr. Duncan Ross was there in the office to see that Mr. Wilson did his work properly. So Mr. Duncan Ross, who was sitting in the office privately, and he was seeing that Mr. Wilson was doing his work properly and did not leave the office, right? He told Mr. Wilson to start with a letter A. Mr. Wilson wrote diligently for 4 hours without leaving his place. So he wrote continuously for 4 hours without leaving his place. Mr. Ross would drop in from time to time to see that all was right with Mr. Wilson. Mr. Ross would come again and again to see that Mr. Wilson is working or not, everything is going right or not. At 2 o'clock, He bade Mr. Wilson good day and locked the door of the office. Then it was 2 o'clock. He told Mr. Wilson to go to lock the office and go. This went on day after day. Mr. Holmes said Mr. Wilson, and on Saturday I got my salary. It was the same next week and the same after week. After a few days, Mr. Duncan Ross came in only once in a while, and after a time he did not come in at all. Mr. Wilson continued. 8 weeks had passed like this, and I had written about awards, archery, etc. So he had written 8 weeks has passed. He had written about awards, archery, etc. and hoped that I might get on to be soon. And then suddenly the whole business came to an end. To an end, Holmes asked. Yes, sir. This morning I went to my work as usual at 10 o'clock, but the door was shut and locked with a little note nailed on it. I said, the red-headed leaf is dissolved, October 9, 1880. I was shocked. I did not know what to do. Mr. Wilson went on with his story. I made inquiries at the nearby offices, but none of them knew anything about the leak. The rooms had been entered under a false name. I went home and asked my assistant, Spaulding, for advice, but he could not help me in any way to find out the leak. Mr. Holmes, who they are and why they played this prank upon me, the whole thing, Oscar, the whole thing. The red-headed leaf is resolved, October 9, 1880. I was shocked. I did not know what to do. Mr. Wilson went on with his story. I made inquiries at the nearby offices, but none of them knew anything about the leak. The rooms had been rented under a false name. So it was all a false. He inquired about that office, he inquired about the red-headed leak, it was dissolved. So there was none of them knew anything. The people knew anything about that leak. The rooms have been rented under a false name. I went home and asked my assistant Spaulding for advice, but he could not help me in any way. I want to find out about the leak. Mr. Holmes, who they are and why they played this prank upon me. The whole thing is a mystery. This is why I come to you. I have heard a lot about you. Holmes found Mr. Wilson's story very unusual. He asked Mr. Wilson, this assistant of yours who first called your attention to the advertisement, what is he like? Small, stout, with no hair on his face, he has a white splish of acid on his forehead. I thought as much, said Mr. Holmes. Is he still with you? Oh, yes, sir. That will do, Mr. Wilson. I can give you my opinion on this subject in a day or two. Today is Saturday, and by Monday we may come to a conclusion. Okay, so we have finished this lesson. Now things to do is, what is the difference between a dictionary and an encyclopedia? Find out. So the difference between the dictionary is what? It gives out all the meanings, and the meaning of encyclopedia, it gives all the information, a big paragraph information, right? So this is the English workshop on page number 89. You have to complete this English workshop as your homework, and in the next period we are going to learn the next topic, that is what happened next in the part 2. This we have finished the part 1, and the next period we are going to do part 2. Okay, thank you.